What's up, guys? San All Sports Center. I'm going to be going over my Week 6 bowl projections for this season, and we're going to go over these pretty quickly. I'm not really going to do a whole lot of analysis on every single game. But yeah, I'll be going over my bowl projections here today, and this is my second edition of these. We're going to be doing these every week until the season is over with. So yeah, we're getting kind of towards that time of the year where we can start to talk a little bit about bowl projections. Of course, we're almost halfway through the season already. It's hard to believe. But yeah, we already are to this point. Bahamas Bowl, starting off with that. Marshall and Central Michigan is my projection. Frisco Bowl, I'm going to say SMU and Army, good matchup there. Cure Bowl, Temple, Arkansas State. New Mexico Bowl, Western Kentucky and San Diego State. Boca Raton Bowl, Cincinnati, Western Michigan. For the Camellia, Buffalo and Coastal Carolina. Las Vegas, Colorado and Utah State. For the New Orleans, Southern Miss and Louisiana, Gasparilla, UAB and UCF. I'm going to drop UCF a little bit. I think this is a great team, but I don't see them making it to any big New Year's Six bowls. Hawaii Bowl, I'm going to say Memphis and BYU. Independence Bowl, Boston College, Louisiana Tech. Quick Lane, Syracuse and Indiana. Military, Pittsburgh versus Navy. Pinstripe, Duke versus Nebraska. Texas, for the Texas Bowl, I'm going to say TCU and Texas A&M, two Texas schools there. Holiday Bowl, Michigan and California. That would be an interesting one. Cheez-It Bowl, Iowa State, USC. Camping World, Virginia and Baylor. Baylor's kind of on the rise right now. And it'll be interesting to see how they finish off the season. But I think they make it to a pretty good bowl game. And they're going to play Virginia there. Cotton Bowl, now Penn State and Boise State. I'm going to say Boise State makes the New Year's Six Bowl this season. First Responder, West Virginia, North Texas. Music City, Minnesota and South Carolina. Redbox, Maryland, and Utah. Orange, for the Orange Bowl, I'm going to say Clemson and Notre Dame. I'm going to actually keep Clemson out of my top four here this week. I think Clemson, they're an impressive team, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to actually say that they get kicked out of the playoffs right now. It sounds crazy, but just kind of stick with me here. Yeah, they're going to play Notre Dame there in the Orange Bowl. Kind of that'll be an interesting one for sure. Belk Bowl, North Carolina and Kentucky. Sun Bowl, Wake Forest, Arizona State. Liberty, I'm going to say Kansas State and Ole Miss. Arizona, Hawaii, and Louisiana Monroe. Alamo, we're going to say Oklahoma State and Washington. Citrus, one of our bigger ones, Iowa and Auburn. Outback, another pretty big one, Michigan State and Florida. Rose Bowl, another huge one, Wisconsin and Oregon. I'm going to say Ohio State wins the Big Ten, but they end up getting a bid to the College Bowl playoffs, so that puts Wisconsin in it. They're going to play Oregon, which Oregon is going to be the Pac-12 champion. That is the same from last week. Sugar Bowl, LSU and Texas. Birmingham Bowl, Miami, Tulane. Gator Bowl, Florida State, Mississippi State. Armed Forces, Air Force, Washington State. Idaho Potato, Eastern Michigan, Wyoming. And finally, Alabama Bowl, Toledo and Appalachian State. Now, if you're a college football playoff projections right now, I'm going to say for the Fiesta Bowl, we're going to have Georgia and Ohio State. Those two will be ranked 2 and 3. I'm not sure which order that's going to be. I'm going to say Ohio State number 2, Georgia number 3 going into that game. The Peach Bowl then, Alabama and Oklahoma. I'm going to have Alabama at 1 and then Oklahoma at number 4. Oklahoma will be your Big 12 champion. National championship this week, I'm going to say Alabama and Ohio State. So two different teams in last week. I said, I had the Peach Bowl being Alabama and Oklahoma last week as well. But I said Oklahoma was going to pull an upset there. I'm going to say Alabama this week. We're going to see a rematch of that one game. I used, 2014 when Ohio State had a huge upset there. But I'm going to give it, Alabama and Ohio State in this one. That would be a huge game. That'd be a crazy one for sure. But yeah, Ohio State was just so impressive this week. And that's why I've got them making the national championship here this year. I'm not going to say my national champion right now. I may do that once we get through the further weeks, but we are still at week 6. And so with that being said, we are still very, very early on in the season to be discussing who possibly could win the national championship. Even though I have Alabama and Ohio State, I think those two teams are very evenly matched, actually. I think Ohio State honestly would have a pretty good chance to win that game, but I'm not going to say anything else other than that. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on these bowl games in the comments below. I'm not going to do a whole lot of analysis on all of these games. I'm just going to kind of go over them. Of course, we do a lot more analysis on our game previews and stuff like that. So yeah, be sure to check those out. Thank you guys all for watching. Stay tuned for Week 6 college football analysis and Week 5 NFL analysis, and I will see y'all later.